Hello, welcome to Miadria webinar, Networking for Google Apps with Cisco Meraki. My name is Mladen Baranek. I work as a technical director of Miadria. Let me go shortly through the agenda. So today I'm going to introduce Miadria as a cloud broker, what we do, what is our portfolio, then give Google Apps networking overview, how you can actually migrate from legacy network infrastructure to a cloud-friendly networking solution, and we are also going to discuss Meraki portfolio and how and why you would choose to use cloud networking from Cisco Meraki. So let me start with Miadria portfolio. Via Google Enterprise, via Google for Work partner. We also do IBM and Microsoft for Office productivity suites, and for backends, we use Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. Of course, if you move your Office productivity to cloud and part of your data center or a whole data center to cloud, then you have an issue what to do with networking equipment. So traditionally, networking equipment was managed with the SNMP, with the SSH, or with some on-premise tools that would require controllers, servers, and additional effort. And Meraki created a solution where you can leverage a cloud platform for network management plane, and you can manage all of network elements through Cisco Cloud. We are going to show Meraki portfolio, including how this dashboard, Meraki dashboard, can be used to manage network and devices. So let me start with Google Apps and networking. Google Apps are services that so I wanted to show Google data centers all over the world. Google is one of the largest internet infrastructure users. Google actually invested a lot of money into fiber optics, also in undersea optical cables, and has a lot of data centers, more than 70 point of presence locations all over the world, and a number of Google caches. So when you are using Google's services, most probably you are being served with the closest from the closest data center to your location. And one of major advantages of using cloud services, especially Google Apps, is that you get performance, and you get a lot of speed increase through using data centers that are closest to your location. Traditionally, enterprise network topologies were using circuits and proxy servers, so all traffic was shuffled towards centralized headquarter, and then only in the headquarter there were connections to the internet. Of course, using such network architecture means that if you have customers in different regions, in different countries, or in different continents, obviously you are going to have a huge legacy, huge latency issues, and a single point of failure problems. Plus, you have a number of network elements that are really not needed today. You can see that in most legacy enterprise environments in a way that customers have much better experience on their mobile phones, on mobile devices, if they are using internet service providers instead of using intranet networks that are heavily limited in performance. And to achieve a better internet connectivity, the idea is to build a cloud-friendly network in a way that you leave your local intranet as soon as possible and connect your egress points to the public internet on all or many locations in a way that you would utilize huge Google network instead of trying to use your circuits, your MPLS connectivity to connect towards cloud services. So common networking misconceptions related to cloud deployments is that bandwidth consumption will increase dramatically, and you are going to need upgrades on all sites to deploy cloud services. Utilization would increase because using cloud services will only increase traffic on your local network. In reality, that's not of what is going to happen. So when you stop using file shares and when you stop using thick mail clients and applications that shuffle whole files and start using cloud services, actually in many cases you are going to see that you need less bandwidth and that utilization of your network will decrease. Eventually you can see that mobile phones function very well with cloud services, so there is no reason why your desktop and mobile workers on the intranet should suffer from increased bandwidth requirements and increased utilization. The other issue is using video conferencing like Hangouts, Skype, or similar services. Of course, they require much more bandwidth than other applications. So in principle, you need for HD video conferencing almost a megabit per user if you would like to keep high quality. Of course, if you are satisfied with not really professional lower resolution settings, then you can go with 256K per user and still be able to have a reasonably good video conferencing solution. But the issue is that many of participants can also use mobile devices. They can use not only your intranet, they can access Hangouts from through their mobile subscriptions or through Wi-Fi networks. And if you have egress very close to your users, then their video conferencing traffic is going to leave your network as soon as possible and go over the public internet and not through your MPLS circuits. So the big problem can be planning, and this is area where Meraki can help for sure, because Meraki devices are going to give you measurement ability all over your network. And if you are going to plan network based on some assumptions and trying to simulate or plan based on some past experiences, most probably you are going to fail. So in order to really be able to manage cloud-friendly network topologies, one of requirements is to have a good measurement and to do planning based on facts and not on assumptions. Deep packet inspection, and especially this SSL interception with intermediate certificates. So those are really not needed requirements to have a secure network. Today, most cloud service providers and Google Apps especially enforce using secure socket layer encryption. So data is encrypted on the network, and there is really no need to do a deep packet inspection, because you are going to see only fully qualified domain names, but you are not going to see complete URLs of services, and in many cases the packet inspection just does not make sense. And moving to cloud deployments for sure does not mean having increase in capital or operational expenditure. So while there is this misconception that cloud services are going to require more resources, in reality, most probably you can go with your existing network if you implement new architecture and try to use egress points as soon as possible. Anyway, access to public internet is usually much cheaper than using MPLS leased lines. Regarding best practices, so we talked about misconceptions, but when you are introducing cloud services, best practices for networking is that you offload all traffic as soon as possible, and that you use decentralized domain name servers. So it is very bad idea to have only one DNS on central location that would respond to all of your customers through MPLS circuits on VPN network or stuff like that, because you are going to incur latency penalties, plus you have a single point of failure issues, and anyway your customers are going to see that mobile phones are performing much better than using your intranet network. Using proxies does not make sense for most cloud services, because anyway content cannot be cached. Plus, if you have a proxy server on a central location, you have the even more problems than if you have a DNS server on central location. Implementing quality of service is a strong requirement in most enterprise network environments, but one have to keep in mind that it can impact auto bandwidth negotiation of cloud services and can actually have negative impact on performance. So it's always a very good idea to allow for bursting and not to enforce too many restrictions with quality of service parameters. SSL inspection, so we see it with our customers. from time to time, and that is really very bad idea. In most cases, there is no need to implement SSL inspection, because effectively it's man-in-the-middle attack. It increases complexity and reduces performance, and anyway, almost no one at no time there is no benefit of decrypting and re-encrypting traffic towards Google Apps, because anyway you have many mechanisms where you can see all the messages as an administrator, and you can see data usage patterns and everything going on within cloud services itself. One problem that is also very present is limited number of connections certain network elements support, especially firewalls and proxies can limit number of TCP connections, and today cloud applications are using hundreds and from time to time thousands of simultaneous connections, which can put a huge strain on those networks elements, and you can have adverse effects where some customers would not be able to access services, or they would have decreased performance. From that perspective, it is very important to calculate needed number of connections per firewalls, proxies, or network address translation devices, where if you run out of connections, you are going to have severe performance impacts. It is, as we said before, a very good idea to implement bandwidth monitoring as early as possible to avoid assumptions for planning purposes and for quality of service and other tasks. So from early on, it would be very good idea to have bandwidth monitoring turned on and then plan accordingly. Regarding mail clients, usually TIC clients like Outlook consume more bandwidth than if you use web-based clients, especially if you download attachments and if you have a problem of mailing attachments from within your network. With web-based clients, all the attachments are located on cloud servers, so they don't have to traverse your intranet, and you only download them if you really need them. Plus, you don't get all of issues you have with the maintenance of TIC clients. And regarding client VPN, and this is also an area where Meraki can significantly decrease complexity and help ease installation and usage of VPN services. It is also very important that you have termination points as close as possible to clients. So it is, of course, if you need VPNs to access your network from certain countries where maybe internet connectivity is limited, or from airports, hotels, then it would be a great idea to have termination points as close as possible to location of your customers. A few words about bandwidth consideration. So here you can see a table showing time needed to upload files of certain sizes, and you can see that with, for example, 2 megabit upload connection, you need almost more than half a day to upload a 10 gigabyte file. So if you take into account that most of Office documents are in range of 10 to 100 megabytes, eventually you'll see that you can comfortably work with those files if you have more than 2 megabit upload speed. But if you are, for example, trying to upload virtual images or trying to do something with virtual machines, then you are talking about 20 to 50 gigabytes files, and you are going to need at least 20 megabit upload connections to have any reasonable to have a reasonable time to upload your files, even for backup purposes. In the red, you can see file sizes that would take more than 1 day to upload with a certain upload speed. Now, let me talk a little bit about cloud-friendly network with Cisco Meraki. So, Meraki made a solution where control plane is managed from the cloud, and all of the devices are connected to Cisco Meraki cloud, from where you can access dashboard portal and you can see all of network elements, plus you can manage network configurations and logging, reporting of whole net on network level and on device level, and you can go even deeper to a user, client, and application level. You get very detailed reporting, measurement, and you have a number of enterprise class features that are easily accessible through dashboard, so there is no need to use complex commands and configurations. For example, you can create fully meshed VPNs through the dashboard with a fairly simple configuration that is going to take care of encryption keys and all the complexities that would require hours of planning for a traditional networking approach. This is how your dashboard would look for example, one mobile device that has Meraki agent on it, and you can see a lot of parameters, plus you can manage all of your wired and wireless clients. You can search through the dashboard and detect certain operating systems through client fingerprints. So you can see where iOS, Androids, Windows machines, and you can find specific machines based on their names or tags you can assign to them. You also have real-time feedback from network elements and clients that can greatly ease troubleshooting and provide visibility in what's going on with your network. Plus, you can do Wireshark live captures all over your network in real time, and you can actually troubleshoot your applications and issues remotely. Meraki is very well utilized in educational sector, especially because of cloud services are utilizing mobile devices, and you get a specific problem that you have to cover high density Wi-Fi environments with access points that would usually require local controllers implemented on servers, and with Meraki you can actually leverage cloud to do all calculations and to distribute clients among access points within one space. So to show you, now let me show you Meraki portfolio. They have number of access points for both indoor and outdoor uses, Ethernet switches that come with SFP 1G and 10G modules with power over Ethernet or without power over Ethernet. They have number of routers they call security appliances. So difference between Ethernet switches and security appliances is that on security appliances you have a layer 7 control and a lot of routing features, while on Ethernet switches you control up to third layer, and you have a limited protocol supported. And you have one additional element, mobile device management, that is a very specific offering because you can leverage using agents on mobile clients to do specific networking actions. I'm going to talk later a little bit about that. So let us go through security appliances. What you get when you implement Meraki is zero-touch site-to-site virtual private network. So you can build fully meshed VPNs with fairly limited effort. You can do one link optimization, get huge huge number of content filtering settings, and you also get simplicity and you see all of those devices within same network configuration dashboards. Of course, there are a number of Ethernet switches to connect your equipment, and Meraki is very strong in providing wireless access points where you can get bring your own device policies managed on a number of access points within the same network. So if you, for example, configure SSID within a network, you are going to see that SSID on the tens or potentially hundreds of access points without needing to configure each and every device. With System Manager, you get additional control over your network, because you can enforce certain actions based on whether a Meraki agent is installed on a client or not. You also get support for mobile devices, but you can manage macOS, Windows, and Chrome devices as well. So if you have Chrome device management licenses, you can integrate that with Meraki, and you can get Wi-Fi authorization settings and quality of service parameters and number of other things based on location of your device or part of the network where your device is connected. This system manager is completely cloud-based. It cannot fully replace Active Directory group policies, but you get a centralized application deployment. You can also set number of security policies, ease provisioning, and of course you get asset management. What's really good news about this is that up to 100 devices you can get it free of charge. So it is at no cost. And of course, you have licensing models. If you have more than 100 devices, I would strongly recommend that you try some of Meraki devices. I can only recommend that you go through few of their webinars and maybe see what can be done with System Manager. So if there are any questions, now we are at the end of the webinar, and yeah, here you can see what we do. So if in any case you plan to move your office productivity applications to cloud or improve your Wi-Fi or for mobile work, or currently if you are renegotiating on-premise software licenses, or if you have problems with outsourcing of your IT environment, you can come to me, Adria, and we are going to devise through our methodology a proper solution and discuss with you how we can leverage cloud services, and especially how we can resolve also networking issues if you already moved part of your workloads to cloud. Yeah, so okay, thank you very much for listening today, and yeah, hope to see you soon. Bye.